What's up, guys? It's your boy Barca Boy 103. Today we're going to be reacting to the Barcelona news over the past 48 hours, where there is huge topics and a lot of topics to discuss. Firstly, Barcelona are in the market to sign a midfielder following the injury of Pedri, and Giovani Lo Celso is the top target. It remains to be seen whether or not Barcelona can afford his signing in regards to registration, but again, talks have begun. Tottenham Hotspur reluctantly let him leave on loan, but Lenglet could enter the deal, and it could be very important. But Xavi is asking the club to sign a midfielder, and of course the club are in talks with Atletico Madrid to sign Joao Felix. It is Joan Laporta who wants Felix, where Deco and Xavi don't really want him that much. Also have an update on Bernardo Silva. He has a new release clause for next summer. We'll talk about that. But of course, with players coming in, players have to leave. We have an update on Clement Lenglet, who has been officially registered with Barcelona. We'll talk about that and his imminent exit. Update on Marcus Alonso as well. Garcia showing some interest. To talk about that. Ansu Fati wants to stay. We have now officially confirmed that Abde Ezzalzouli will stay. He will not be sold 100% in this transfer window. Update on the renewal of Marc-Andre Ter Stegen as well. And we have to talk about the biggest news over the past 24 hours, and that is the injury of Pedri. He was injured in yesterday's training session and is said to be sidelined for a very long time, but we do have the exact amount of time that Pedri will be out for. But before we get into it, make sure you guys smash that like button down below. Let's try to get to 200 likes in this video. Be very much appreciated. And also, if you're new, make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't already, and let's get into it. Let's start off with the transfer news over the past 48 hours. Now we're going to start off very quickly by discussing some of the rumors in regards to the defense. As we all know, Joao Cancelo should be a Barcelona player by now, but he isn't. I'm recording this Friday morning, still no here we go or confirmation yet of the deal being done, but of course it will happen by the end of this weekend. Following the signing of Joao Cancelo, Alex Pentel from Relevo has come out saying with the imminent arrival of Joao Cancelo, Xavi considers the reinforcements in the defense close, which means that of course Fresneda is now officially ruled out. Maybe with the departure of Marcos Alonso, we could see some rumors come back, but most likely we'll see Inigo Martinez be a substitute there. Maybe Mikhail Faye can come in from the Barca Athletic. Very unlikely, pretty much 99.5% ruled out that Barcelona will not sign Fresneda, but a defender in general. Now, following the imminent signing of Joao Cancelo, Barcelona's next transfer target for the final week of the transfer window will be a midfielder, and again the target is Giovani Lo Celso. Now, firstly, yesterday Tony Juan Marti came out saying that Barcelona asked Tottenham Hotspur to sign Giovani Lo Celso on loan, but the English club refused. Barcelona considered this operation practically ruled out, except for an unexpected change. He will not arrive. When I first saw this, pessimistic of course, I was very disappointed that Barcelona only want him on a loan. According to reports, he is available for around 10 to 15 million euros. But following this report, there was some optimism coming in from Mateo Morito from Relevo. He came out saying there will be a meeting next Monday or Tuesday between Tottenham and Lo Celso to determine how to move forward in his future. I've been told it is not ruled out if he leaves on loan. Lo Celso to Betis could be an option. Barcelona is also monitoring his situation. The formula would be key. According to reports now, Napoli are interested as well, since they lost out on Gabriel Vega, who went to El Ahly. Crazy that is, but that's another topic of its own. So Mateo Morito is saying that a loan is still possible, but looks like Lo Celso will decide his future in the final week of the transfer window, meeting next week, either Monday or Tuesday with Tottenham. Now, if we go back to the initial report from Tony Juan Marti, he said that except for an unexpected change, he will not arrive. But maybe that unexpected change has arrived with the injury of Pedri, which I will discuss near the end of the video. But following the injury of Pedri, Tony Juan Marti came out saying that Barcelona do want to sign a midfielder, especially after Pedri's injury, but it is still very a difficult operation to execute. Gabriel Sanz from Deportivo came out saying that Xavi is now more determined than ever to sign a midfielder after Pedri's injury. Following that, Tony Juan Marti again came out saying that if there are no exits, the club will find it very difficult to sign any player beyond Joao Cancelo. Lo Celso's profile is liked, but Spurs are not willing to let him leave on loan. Contacts with La Liga are frequent to check how the salary spaces are after each operation, and although it seems difficult to achieve, the club will analyze whether after Cancelo they can sign anyone After that, not only Lo Celso. Keep in mind again, the club do want to keep some space on the wage bill to incorporate Victor Roque in January, so that's something to keep in mind as well. But again, on Lo Celso, there's still some positive reports. Have Miguel from AES came out saying that Xavi has asked the club for one last effort to sign Lo Celso, and Lenglet could be key in that operation. Again, following the injury, so Xavi already wanted Lo Celso before Pedri got injured, as you know, an alternative option off the bench, because again, we knew that Pedri is injury prone, and now it's basically confirmed. After Pedri's injury, Xavi asked the club, please try and sign Lo Celso. Fran Martinez Mundo Deportivo came out saying the priorities for Xavi and Deco are to finish the closing of the right back signing, Joao Cancelo, and if it's affordable financially, to sign a midfielder. Barcelona are interested in Lo Celso, although they assume it will be a difficult operation. Now, the debate on Twitter and the Barcelona fan base has been, do we sign a midfielder? We do have 5 midfielders now. You have Marc Casado, Alex Garrido, Fermin Lopez with the B team. I've been in favor of the signing of another midfielder in Lo Celso, and I'll tell you why for a couple of reasons. One, last season we complained that we had a lack of midfield options. We had Busquets, Pablo Torre, Franck Kessié, Pedri, Xavi, and Frankie de Jong. But of course, Pedri was injured a lot, Xavi was stuck on the left wing a lot, so we saw a lot of a hole in that midfield. And of course, Xavi never really trusted Pablo Torre last season either. So we said, with that midfield that we already had, we need to add a midfielder. Hence, since then, we've lost Pablo Torre on loan, we've sold Kessié, Busquets has left, so we've lost 3, already needing 1 on top of that. We brought in Romelu, who's very short term, Gundogan, who's still short term but a bit longer than Romelu, and you have 1 more space left, on top of the 1 that we already wanted last season. I think Lo Celso coming in does not hinder the development of Fermin Lopez or Marc Casado and Alex Garrido, because I cannot express how many games we're going to be playing every season. And the issue is that the likes of our starting midfielder, Oriol Romeu, Ilkay Gundogan, Xavi, they cannot play week in, week out. They will get injured like Pedri did. Also, on that matter, Xavi is still licking his balls about this fucking goddamn forward midfield. So he's gonna need we started all our midfielders against Cadiz. People don't realize this. All 5 of the midfielders that we have in the first team all started against Cadiz, and now we have 1 injured. I also don't think that Casado, Garrido, or Fermin Lopez have done enough to, you know, warrant us trusting them for a season either. I think you bring in Lo Celso on a loan, permanent 10-15 million, he'll be dirt cheap. You can sell him on later on if needs be. He'll come in, have the experience, help the other ones grow, and when there's injuries, let's say Pedri gets injured, Lo Celso then jumps and starts. Fermin Lopez is on the bench. You can still come in, have an impact. You can still come in and make that big step up, and if he does, maybe he can loan out Lo Celso later on. With Lo Celso, he's a good player. He's someone that Xavi wants. He makes those through ball passes. He can also play in the wings, has a good shot on him. Worst case scenario, you sell him on, or maybe loan him out in the future. I think Lo Celso is a signing that has to be done. We need another midfielder. We only have 5. We need 6. Of course, you need 3 starters, 3 backups. But for Xavi, you have fucking goddamn 5 starters, and that's the main issue. So I personally would go for Lo Celso. I think it's a very cheap operation. I'm still shocked that Barcelona cannot afford this. We spent fucking 4 million euros this transfer window. Barca Athletic have spent more money than the first team this transfer window, and yet we are struggling to sign players still. And we've gotten rid of Busquets and Jordi Alba and Piqué and Dembele and Kessié. That's $1 million off the wage bill, and we're still struggling with FFP. It's so confusing to me, but I think that the Lo Celso signing is needed. Of course, if we don't get it, I will not be butthurt. I won't be crying in the corner. I think it would be a big blow, but we'll wait and see how things go. I am very optimistic the club will, I think 100%, the club will sign someone other than Joao Cancelo. Whether it's Felix, Lo Celso, my nan, I don't know. I am very, very confident though the club will sign someone else, because Xavi is asking for reinforcements, and also the club love their 48-hour last-second transfer signings. Since this new board has come in 2021, 2022, 2023, each transfer window, we've had a signing last second, apart from the last January transfer window. That was it. So I think we will sign someone else. The question now is who. Let's hope it's Lo Celso. Again, Xavi is asking for a midfielder, and the club are analyzing if they can sign a midfielder due to the money and also FFP being involved. Now, a midfielder who Barcelona could end up signing in the future is, of course, Bernardo Silva. A few videos ago, I told you guys that, of course, Bernardo Silva was going to renew his contract with Man City. And by the way, it's only a 1-year extension, so nothing too fuss about it. But Jose Alvarez from El Chiringuito TV said that he would have a €50 million release clause in his new contract. And that has been confirmed by Mateo Morito, saying that Bernardo Silva has a £50 million release clause in his contract, which is around about 60 to 59 million euros. So that release clause will be active come next summer. And again, Bernardo Silva only signs a 1-year extension with Man City. Now, Bernardo Silva's father, Paulo, has been speaking to the media as well. He came out saying there was continuation in the interest of Barcelona, which year after year wanted Bernardo Silva in their squad. Obviously, there was also the desire to keep Bernardo Silva at City. Things were structured and the decision was taken with our feet on the ground. So again, confirming Barcelona's interest last season and of course this season as well. Watch out for the rumors next summer. I'll tell you that. 60 million for Bernardo, I think again he's worth it. Again, the age will come into question at that point, but if Xavi's still drooling about him and Deco is there as well, 60 million, it's a pretty good price for Bernardo Silva. He'll have 2 years left on his deal as well. That's also a big factor as well. So wait and see what happens. That's of course not going to happen now, but keep your eyes on Bernardo Silva next summer. He will have a release clause in his contract. But a Portuguese player who has been linked with Barcelona a lot over the past month and so could end up signing for Barcelona is Joao Felix. We do have some of the updates around his transfer. Firstly, Mundo Deportivo have come out saying that for Joao Felix to arrive at Barcelona, one forward will have to leave the club first. Felix is ready to lower his salary to play for Barcelona. Mateo Morito has come out saying that Joao Felix of Barcelona is still a real option and will remain so until the last day of the transfer market. The player is waiting for Barcelona while Jorge Mendes is working on it. Fabrizio Romano has come out saying that Joao Felix is one to watch till the final day of the window. The player wants to join Barcelona, but it depends on FFP. We'll have to see how it progresses on the club side as well. Now, Mateo Morito has come out saying that he feels that Joao Felix will end up at Barcelona by the end of the transfer window. Of course, it's not news. That's just his opinion. Who's of course very well in the know. Mateo Morito, even when he was coming up, when he was working for, I think, Fabrizio Romano before he signed for Relevo, he was very close to Atletico Madrid. He was probably the main man around Atletico, and now of course he's more abroad, and credit to him, one of the best journalists in the world. I still don't get the point of this signing. We still have some more reports. We do have the Atletico Madrid president. He was speaking yesterday. He was talking with, I think, El Chiringuito TV. He was asked on Joao Felix, saying that, look, Joao Felix is clear. He does not want to play for us anymore. Whether other teams want him, that's another debate. So again, confirming that Felix does not want to play for Atletico Madrid ever again. And we'll have to wait and see what happens. Now, Fran Martinez Mundo Deportivo came out saying it is Joan Laporta who wants Joao Felix a lot, but Deco and Xavi don't want him that much. When Laporta was first elected, he said, I do not make signings. I am the president. I run the club. I make the big decisions, but the decisions of signing players comes to the sporting sector and the manager. So why is this man pushing for Joao Felix? It makes no sense, man. I am telling you, this man is going to absolutely flop at Barcelona. I think if it's a straight loan, we cover half his salary, then fine, take the risk, make Jorge Mendes happy, whatever. My worry is that Barcelona are going to A, sell someone to bring him in on loan only, so Ansu, Fati, Abde, whatever the case may be. Secondly, pay a loan fee and pay a ridiculous part of his salary as well. That is what I'm worried about. I don't think Joao Felix is worth the investment whatsoever. I'm very, very happy to know that Deco and Xavi do want Lo Celso or another midfielder before they sign Joao Felix. That's already been confirmed by a lot of reports as well. So that brings me somewhat closure. So if we sign someone after Joao Cancelo, it will most likely be a midfielder and not Joao Felix. I feel like Joao Felix will end up at Saudi Arabia final few days of the window. He just wants out, and Barcelona are not budging. I feel like then he'll probably end up at Saudi Arabia because it's the only club that's offering him a good salary and offering Atletico Madrid somewhat of what they want. I'm not on the. I think Joao Felix, fantastic player, but just not for Barcelona. I saw Fabrizio Romano saying that, I think Joao Felix and Barcelona have the same style. Absolute rubbish. I think Felix does not fit in any of the system that Xavi plays, whether it's the 5 in midfield, the 4 in midfield, 2 wingers. He fits in none of them. Unless we're playing Koeman 4-2-3-1, I don't think Felix fits in Barcelona in any capacity whatsoever. And I think selling Ansu, Fati, or Abde to bring him in is fucking criminal. But we'll wait and see on Joao Felix. Again, this will not shut up until the last few seconds of the window, but I'm praying every single day from now until that last second that we don't end up signing him for a ridiculous amount or big consequences needed. Now, there is another forward, a new name that has been linked with Barcelona over the past 24 hours, and it's coming in from Demarcio, one of the best journalists in the world. Bit hit and miss on Barcelona recently. He did say a few days ago that the Barcelona Atletico Madrid advanced negotiations for Joao Felix with a loan fee of around 7 to 8 million euros. No one has come out confirming that. Mathieu just said there's no talks that advanced, just initial, discussion. So take this with a pinch of salt. He's come out saying that Barcelona could be an option for Romelu Lukaku on loan. He also mentioned PSG if they don't get Kolo Muani from Eintracht Frankfurt. Again, Chelsea desperate to get rid of him. He was talking with Inter to stay, then betrayed them, went to Juventus. Juventus don't want him anymore, so now he's been stuck at Chelsea, not training, not doing anything. Here's your Barca boy hot take for the day. Buckle your seatbelts for this one. I would rather sign Romelu Lukaku on loan over Joao Felix. Let me explain myself before you attack me. On the conditions of the deals that we're hearing for Joao Felix and Lukaku respectively, I take Lukaku all day. Natural striker, backup for Lewandowski. Once Victor Roque comes in January, he'll probably be been off by then. No loan fee. He's on 200,000 euros per week. I believe at Chelsea are 250. Half of that's 100,000. Him coming in on loan, I think is better than Joao Felix. Joao Felix, you have to pay a loan fee, amortization, salary, and you have to sell a forward on top of that. I think Joao Felix is a better player than Lukaku. If we're just talking about players by themselves, no money, no strings attached, I would pick Joao Felix. But based on the operations presented to Barcelona, I think Lukaku is the favorite one. Yes, he has a touch like a Timberland boot. Yes, his touch is one of the worst I've seen in modern day football. But he's clinical in the box, and I think his hold-up play is actually decent. Played, of course, in the Champions League final with Inter. He had a good season with Inter. I think he came off an injury. He was from January until June. He was very good for Inter. I'd rather take the risk on Lukaku because, again, clinical striker, natural striker. He comes directly as a replacement for Lewandowski, who's been on a dip of form recently, and I think he fits the system at Barcelona better than Joao Felix. But that's just my opinion. Let me know, though, in the comments down below. Would you rather sign Lukaku, straight loan, no loan fee, cover half his salary, or Joao Felix, loan fee, amortization, cover his salary, which will be more, maybe have to sell an Abde and Ansu Fati? So leave me your thoughts down in the comments below. But again, this is just initial talks. No one in Barcelona has confirmed this yet, but last few days of the windows, man, anything can happen. If this happens, I would not be surprised, but I think Lukaku on loan is a better option than Joao Felix on loan. But wait and see how this materializes. But according to reports, Lukaku has been offered the chance to join Barcelona on loan. Let's now discuss the players who have been rumored to leave Barcelona over the past 48 hours. First up is a player who is guaranteed to leave the club at some point from now until the final seconds of the window, and that is Clement Lenglet. Now, Antonio Juan Martínez come out saying the negotiations with Tottenham Hotspur for Clement Lenglet have stalled. Antonio Conte's exit is the main reason behind that. We're hearing that Anja Postecoglou, the new Tottenham manager, is not really too keen on Lenglet. Apparently, Pochettino, who was a candidate, wanted to have Lenglet, and of course, Antonio Conte was the one who first signed Lenglet. Lenglet's entourage is not entirely rule out this option, but they admit Postecoglou has shown little interest. Now, of course, if you want Lo Celso, that could be, we can definitely chuck in Lenglet into that deal. Because if we go in for Lo Celso, say, hey, Lenglet plus 5-10 million, I think Postecoglou would look at it. A midfielder I don't want, a center back who's okay. And keep in mind, Tottenham do need center backs. He'll probably end up taking it. Now, there has been some big positive news in regards to Lenglet's exit recently, and that is yesterday, Lenglet has been officially registered. You're probably thinking, what the bloody hell, we registered him? That's not good. But it is good, of course. In the last video, I told you guys that Serginho Dest was registered before he went on loan to PSV Eindhoven, and that's because Barcelona benefit more by registering him first and letting him go out on loan and making that financial fair play margin more accessible and more room to play around with it. So that's why Barcelona have registered Lenglet. He has no official number on the website, although I think he was given the number 12 in preseason, if I'm not mistaken. But this for me is a big sign. That means the club 100% they're gonna sell Lenglet in some way, shape, or form. And also registering him, I think, is another good news because of course his salary is fucking ridiculous. His salary, according to Sport, I believe, is 16 million net, which is around about 200,000 euros per week. So the club have space to register 200,000 a week. We still have the register Neki Peña. I think he's on, 80, something like that. Inigo Martinez on 100, and Marcos Alonso is on over 100. So those three still haven't been registered, but Lenglet has been. That's quite a risky move by Barcelona when you need Neki Peña on the bench, when you need Inigo Martinez, especially with the injury of Araujo. But I think registering Lenglet is very, very key in the fact that Barcelona not only have the salary space to register him, but also that he is set to leave. Now, Luis Rojo from Marca came out saying that Clement Lenglet will leave Barcelona next week. He was supposed to go to Saudi Arabia, but he refused at the last moment. Of course, Al Nassr ended up sending a better center back in Laporta. He goes on to say that both Lenglet and Barcelona are sure that in the end there will be a team that the player can go to by the end of the transfer market. Neither of the two parties contemplate the option of Lenglet continuing at Barcelona this season, since Xavi does not have him in his plans. So Barcelona and Lenglet have it clear. He will not be here by the end of the transfer window. Again, the big question now that I've been repeating over the past few months: when he's gonna leave, where's he gonna go, and how he's going to leave. Again, Jordan Miro sticking, a contract termination is still on the table. We have maybe a transfer fee offer, letter of freedom, might even end up in a last second loan as well. In some way, shape, or form, Lenglet will leave the club. I was watching the training video last night. Man's still in the gym training with Barcelona. It feels so weird to see him there when he's not played a second with Barcelona, not on any bench or not called up whatsoever. Again, he will leave. It's just about finding the right formula and the right, project for the player, formula for the club. But him being registered, I cannot stress enough how key that is. Not only does Barcelona have the salary margin for him, but it also means that his departure is coming up because the club want to register him and unregister him to get that benefit from the financial fair play margin for his exit. So we'll see what happens with Clement Lenglet, but again, he is bound for that exit door. Now, a player's future that is still very much in doubt, but the player himself is confident that he will continue at Barcelona, is Marcos Alonso. Gabriel Sanz, Mundo Deportivo, has come out saying that Marcos Alonso trusts that he will be registered and does not consider leaving as of now. He sacrificed money to arrive at Barcelona and also renewed recently with a lower salary. Moreover, Xavi and Barcelona are satisfied with him. Couple of things there. There's a reason why Gabriel Sanz does not have a rating on this news report. Firstly, he sacrificed money to come. I mean, what money did he sacrifice? We did, offer Aubameyang for him, and also he wanted to come. Secondly, renewed with a lower salary. That's capped because he's on fucking 9 million net per year. That's why he's not freaking registered. So, doesn't make sense. Again, Lenglet, who is gonna leave, is registered ahead of Alonso, who can be useful for Xavi and Barcelona at the moment. I think selling Alonso would be the biggest move and the best thing Barcelona could do from now to the end of the window, alongside the signing of Joao Cancelo. Getting rid of Alonso and his salary and his space in the squad, I think is key. I think it's absolutely massive because I'd rather see Inigo Martinez at left back, Mikal Faye, Joao Cancelo, and even Sergio Roberto at left back over Marcos Alonso. I think all he does is he's a good, squad trainer. In training he does, go toe to toe. Maybe he can put a shift in here and there at center back, but we already got about 10 of those, so we don't really need Marcos Alonso. And again, his salary is too ridiculous. If his salary was like 1 or 2 million, then yeah, whatever, keep him. 9 million? 9? Mental. Absolutely mental. But like we've been saying a lot in this video, in the Mercado, you just never know. Again, to this day, he still has not been registered, and I believe that leaves his future in doubt. Now, a Barcelona player that has been attracting heavy interest recently is Eric Garcia, and it is Girona who are interested in Eric's services. This is coming in from Candesir, but from the Girona media, very, very reliable sources. They've come out saying that Eric Garcia's name is on the table for Girona as one of the options to reinforce the center back department for them. Coach Miguel likes his profile both as a pivot and as a center back, and they have Tapa and also Redondo as other options as well. So Eric Garcia, top of Girona's list to reinforce their center back position. Very, very interesting. For me personally, of course, good offer comes in, you kind of have to accept it. I'm thinking in the region 15-20 million. A lot of people have been bringing up the name of Arnel Martinez, but if Girona want to reinforce their team, they don't want to also weaken it by giving away probably their best player at the moment. With Eric Garcia, I think he's done enough in preseason to show that he is a player that can be useful this season. Of course, with Araujo injured and Christensen on one leg essentially, he's going to get some minutes this season. I think he's done enough in preseason to show that he's at that level, and when given a trust, he can play at a suitable level that Barcelona need. Of course, he's an option for the pivot as well that can be useful later down the road when we have injuries in games week in, week out as well. For me with Eric, I think he's a player that you want to keep. We talked about Marcos Alonso as a squad player. I think Eric Garcia is probably the perfect squad player. He's on good wages as well. I think he's around 80,000, 90,000 a week. And of course, he's a player that Xavi likes. He's young, playing multiple positions. I think only way he leaves is if a good offer comes in the region of 10, 15 million euros. I think the club would start talking at 10. For me personally, 15 plus add-ons, I'd probably sell Eric Garcia, but I don't think that offer will come in from Girona. I think they're probably looking at very, very low transfer fee or maybe even a loan. But we'll wait and see. Again, it's just general interest at the moment. Nothing materialized, nothing advanced, no initial talks yet either. But keep our eyes on Eric Garcia with Girona knocking on the door. Now, a player who is desperate to stay at Barcelona this summer is, of course, Ansu Fati, but his entourage, both his father and his agent, are looking at other clubs elsewhere for the player and do want him to move. Now, Hanina Codes from Copes come out saying that Ansu Fati's father, Bori Fati, went to Portugal yesterday to meet with Jorge Mendes. Ansu Fati does not want to leave Barcelona despite offers from the Premier League. The rumors are the offers are from Aston Villa and Tottenham Hotspur. Now, for Aston Villa, he's going to be behind both Moussa Diaby and Leon Bailey on the wing, so he's third choice there. For Tottenham, they have Heung-min Son, they have Kulusevski, you could say third, maybe second choice there. I think he has the same opportunities to get into the Barcelona team that he does for Aston Villa and Tottenham. Of course, if he walks in as a starter, again, interest there, you might be worried, makes sense. He'd walk in and be right on the bench. So why not just be on the bench of the best team in the world, your boyhood club? I can understand Ansu Fati. I think he has a better chance of getting to Barcelona starting lineup than he does at Aston Villa. Tottenham may be different, especially with, Richarlison not firing, and they do need some numbers on the bench in terms of their forward line. But it's not like a Bayern Munich or like an Arsenal or like a Man City where, it's a big club, they need him and they want him to start. Like when Man City they signed Jeremy Doku, if they wanted Ansu Fati, I'd be shitting myself. But these are teams that he'd be in the same position in those teams that he would be for Barcelona. So it doesn't really make sense to me, but we'll wait and see. I'm hoping Ansu Fati stays. I really wanted to have one last remontada season. Again, I'd rather have Ansu Fati than Lukaku, than Joao Felix. I think giving him that chance is so vital. He's done well in preseason. He came on against Getafe and Cadiz, had a big impact. Xavi's lineup this weekend against Villarreal is going to be huge. Will Ansu Fati start or not? I think if he doesn't start, I think Ansu Fati's future will remain in doubt until that final second of the Mercado. But we'll wait and see on Ansu, but he's still communicating and he's still insisting on wanting to stay at Barcelona. But a forward who will 100% be staying at the club this summer is Abde Ezzalzouli. Of course, there are reports over the past few days that he wants to be a starter, that he is considering leaving Barcelona. There are offers on the table from the likes of Bayern Leverkusen, Aston Villa, loan offers from Osasuna and Real Betis, and Ansu Fati. And Abdi's agent Javi Garrido was at the Barcelona offices yesterday to decide his future. If he's going to look for offers, best offer for him in Barcelona, or if he was going to stay. And after the meeting, all the reports were synonymous in the sense that everyone agreed on the same thing, and that is Abde staying. The news actually broke from Hanina Codes from Cope. She was the first one to come out, and she came out saying that Barcelona today told Abde that they will not listen to any of the multiple offers that have arrived for him from Bayern Leverkusen, Premier League, and also La Liga clubs. Xavi wants him in the team, and he believes he can be an important player. This has been confirmed by Fabrizio Romano, Matteo Morito, Tony Juan Marti. Everyone came out saying that Barcelona told Abde he's staying, and also Abde is happy with staying, of course, pending how much game time he does end up getting. Now, Jaime Miguel from AS also confirmed it, saying that Xavi and the rest of the coaching staff believe that Abde is the player who is the most similar to Ousmane Dembele and have declared the Moroccan as untransferable. Xavi's intention is to continue giving him minutes and confidence that the player feels very important. So that's the saga over. Of course, Matteo Morito came out a month ago saying that 99% Abde stays, and looks like he is correct. There were some doubts about his, starting role. Of course, in the past two games, Getafe and Cadiz did come off the bench. I think Getafe came on at halftime, 45 minutes. Cadiz last 20 minutes, so he only played about an hour or so for Barcelona in the full 90 minutes, 180 minutes that we did end up playing, so it's not even half. So I understand his concerns, but I think he'll definitely go into it for sure. And again, he is the player that is most similar to Ousmane Dembele. This pretty much tells you that if Ousmane Dembele stayed, Abde would have been gone, and fair enough as well. But Abde's going to be staying. He's going to get a season at Barcelona, and hopefully he'll end this season as a starter and hopefully lifting some trophies for Barcelona. Let's now discuss some contract renewal updates around the first team at Barcelona. Just one update, and it is on the second captain, Marc-Andre Ter Stegen, who according to reports over recent days has agreed a contract renewal for 2 years, no increased salary, no decreased salary, just deferring his salary. And Kopi have confirmed that Barcelona want to announce Marc-Andre Ter Stegen's contract renewal until 2028 before the end of the current transfer window, and that of course is huge because that means that his implemented new salary will help with Barcelona, of course, financial fair play margins, and help Barcelona being able to sign players and more importantly register them. So you have sales, of course. We already got rid of a lot of wages. Lenglet's gonna leave. Ter Stegen's gonna defer his salary. There should be no problem with Barcelona signing players, but yet that's still on the table, which still shocks me to this day. But again, Ter Stegen, pretty much at this point we can agree that he has agreed a renewal with Barcelona. Nothing signed and official yet. Of course, once he's signed, we'll get confirmation that he has signed, but right now it is an agreement in principle, and the club do plan on officially announcing it before the end of this current transfer window. Let's now discuss some of the injury updates around the first team at Barcelona. You could say this is the biggest news around Barcelona over the past 24 hours, and that's that Pedri's injured. I mean, that's now you could say Barcelona's two most important players to their squad, both injured in goddamn training, not on the pitch. They didn't get tackled or anything and broke their ACL. In goddamn training. The club released an official statement yesterday saying that Pedri has injured his right thigh. His recovery will mark his availability. Now, this is the exact same injury that he suffered against Manchester United in the Europa League last season, which of course left him out for around 2 to 3 months. You're probably wondering, how long is he out for? Reports are different, but in the same timeline. Tony Juan Martí came out saying that Pedri could return around the matches against Mallorca on September 27th or Sevilla October 1st, as per the first sensations. Miguel from AS, the injury guy, came out saying that Pedri's injury is not as serious as the one he suffered last season, although it is the same leg and the same injury, but in any case, he'll miss at least 5 weeks. But Helena Codes from Kobe came out saying that Pedri will be out for more than 5 to 6 weeks. So essentially, he's out for a month and a half. Now, the rumor is that his goal is to be back before the first Clasico on October 29th, although he could be back way before that. I think he will be back mid-October. I think what happens that October 1st, once, international break ends, we'll have all Pedri's training on the pitch, blah, blah, blah. The club don't want to risk anything. Fuck not risking anything, man. We keep not risking stuff and then shit happens. It's so annoying. I think he will be fully fit for the Clasico. I think we will not see him until a game or two before the Clasico at the most. Still a massive blow for Barcelona, and this is why we need Lo Celso, because now we don't have a creative outlook in the team. Gavi's not creative. De Jong isn't creative. I think Gundogan can play that role, but it's still very risky. At City, he was never relied on to create. He was just creating for the sake of it. It was always De Bruyne's job, but he would still, put that through ball in and put those passes in. This is why Lo Celso is important, because what happens if Gundogan gets injured, then we're absolutely fucked. So this is why Lo Celso has to come in my opinion, but I don't know what the hell is happening in these goddamn training sessions. We've lost Araujo and Pedri in the space of a week to our training sessions. When Xavi came in, we had no injuries. He brought in back Dr. Recuperate. We're all happy days. No one getting injured. Dembele looked like he's made out of steel. All of a sudden now they're dropping like flies. I've seen a lot of people talking about Pedri and Araujo as well, saying that, oh, they're so injury prone. They are. 100%. This confirms Araujo, Pedri, injury prone, and the most important thing, they're not reliable. They are fantastic, world-class players. Pedri's one of the best midfielders in the world. Araujo is one of the best defenders in the world, but they are not reliable. And this is why Barcelona have to have depth in both those positions. That's why we have Christensen, who not reliable either. Koundé, may God help him, because he's going to play every single second of the season. You have Inigo Martinez, you have Eric Garcia. But in the midfield, that's where the hole comes in. We have no creative outlook for Pedri. Keep in mind, Pedri, beginning of the summer, oh, fitness, oh, I was training in the gym, I'm on a strict diet, blah, 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 no injuries. Week and a half in, he gets injured. Also with Pedri, we talked about this in the summer, we have no backup for Pedri. Yes, Gavi can play there, Gundogan, but they're not the Pedri profile. They're not creative. And we talked about this in the summer, that we need someone to come in and replace Pedri, and it takes for him to get injured to get that solution out there. So we'll wait and see what happens in terms of his signing a replacement. But I do, of course, wish Pedri a speedy recovery, as it is a big blow for Barcelona. And Sucks that they're both in training sessions, but it is what it is. We will power forward. But again, Pedri looks like he will be out for around a month and a half. Worst case scenario, 2 months. Now, the final topic that I want to discuss before I end off this video is to give you guys updates in regards to Barcelona getting paid for their investments, getting paid for the sale they have made in regards to Barca Studio. Of course, a few weeks ago, the club did confirm they have sold part of Barca Studios to a liberal football finance company in Germany for around 60 million euros. But yet, none of that 60 million euros has come in. Deportivo came out saying that liberal football finance must pay Barcelona 20 million by this week and another 20 million before August the 29th. This will help with registration of Diego Martinez, Iñaki Peña, Alonso, and Joao Cancelo will also benefit from this income. So again, of that 60 that was supposed to help us, we've got none of it. We should get 20 by this week, 20 before the transfer window ends. That's again only about 60% of it. And I'm still sitting here struggling to understand how we cannot sign Lo Celso. Tony Juan Martin is saying, oh, it's financially impossible. We have the investment coming in. We're selling players. Ter Stegen is reducing his salary. What more do you need? Raccoon have come out saying that Barcelona is in negotiation with an American investor to join the operation with Liberal Football Finance. Now, a single euro of the 40 million agreed with Liberal has come in yet, and it is needed to complete pending registrations and the arrival of Cancelo. Gerard Romero confirmed this, saying that Barcelona is looking for several alternatives, not just the American one, in case the deal does not get done, but they trust that tomorrow or today, at least part of the Liberal money will come in. So they were expected some sort of the 20 million euro payment. That way we can sign officially Joao Cancelo. But I'm still like, we've registered Lenglet, who's on 200,000 a week. Ter Stegen's going to reduce his salary to help us out. We have this liberal football finance money coming in. We've sold, of course, 1 million off the wage bill as well. And we're still struggling. What more do we need? I have to bend my arse down backward for Javier Tebas to just freaking lick it. Like, what more has to be done for Barcelona to be able to, you know, freely move in the transfer market without shackles in our hands and toes and fingers and nose and feet all tied behind our backs? It is what it is. We'll wait and see. I'm very, very confident the club will sign Cancelo and someone else. The question is, who's going to be that someone else? Could be Lo Celso, could be Joao Felix, could be Lukaku for all I know. But again, clubs making movements, they do have some backup options as well in case this money does not come in with other American investors, because again, they need this money coming in to help with registration. That's the most important thing right now. I think Barcelona do have room to sign players, and they can sign players on loan, stuff like this, but to actually register them is where the issue comes in. So that was my reaction to the Barcelona news over the past 48 hours. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, and of course leave me your thoughts down below in the comments on everything we discussed. But the main thing, firstly, of course, is your thoughts on the signing of Lo Celso. You think it's possible? What would you pay? And would you bring in Lo Celso, or maybe vote on someone else to bring in the midfield? Thoughts on Joao Felix, whether you would want him to come in or not, and also on my hot take, would you rather have Lukaku or Felix joined in on loan? Of course, include their conditions to join in your decision, not just player for player, with the conditions as well. Throw your thoughts on the exit of Clement Lenglet. You think he'll end up leaving Barcelona? Where, when, and also how? And find your thoughts on Pedri getting injured, on if whether or not you would sign a replacement, and also your thoughts on both now Pedri and Araujo being injured in training sessions. And of course, make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys next time on the channel. Take care, and Forza Barca.
Go,